everyone, it is Eunagina here and welcome to this mega build. To everyone who's new here on this channel, welcome. I'm really glad to have you here. So today I'm going to be building this beautiful city of Minas Tirith from Lord of the Rings, in case you were in any doubt by now. This was a really big challenge for me to be doing in The Sims 4 because of all these restrictions that the game brings, and choosing a build like Minas Tirith was basically like saying, well, whatever, Sims 4, I know I can't do most of the things that I need to in order to get this build done, but I'm going to attempt it anyway, so ha! But anyways, I gotta say, I actually excuse me, I actually think it turned out pretty well, so I'm very happy with that. So without further ado, let's get started on this mega build. So actually I just wanted to say that I'm going to have lots more mega builds on my channel. It has been a while since I did the Vampire Mega Mansion, but my aim is actually to make sure that there will be okay, I'm going to try that one more time. That I will consistently upload mega builds to my channel, so that there will be episodes out about like every week. So that there will also always be something for you guys to watch if you really like mega builds. So that's really good, and I'm really happy with that. I'm going to try and stick to that as much as possible. These mega builds do take a lot of time, so if you feel like there is long in between, that is why, but I'm going to try and make it less. The reason it also has been so long since I made the Mega Mansion. Okay, this is insane. I'm just failing so much today. But anyways, the reason it has been a while is also because my channel is very new, so I was sort of trying to keep up and try and make a schedule and try and sort of make sure that I get consistent content out, and I didn't feel like I had time in the beginning to really just keep on doing mega builds. I also wanted to get a bunch of other content out as well, because it's not only going to be mega builds on this channel, but I do want mega builds to be a big part of my channel, so there are definitely going to be lots of those coming out. I'm going to make as many of them as I possibly can, I promise. So if you really like mega builds, if you really like these huge builds, stick around. If you're not subscribed already, why don't you do that, because I'm going to be doing lots of those, so if you like it, why not just stick around a little bit. But anyways, about the restrictions that I had with this Minas Tirith build in The Sims 4. As you can see right now, I am already dug into the basement. If for any reason there is someone out there watching who actually does not play The Sims 4, but who's just watching this because they like Lord of the Rings and they like Minas Tirith or whatever. So the thing with The Sims 4 is you can only build 4 stories above ground and 2 stories below ground. So in total I can build 6 stories of, you know, rooms or whatever, and then I cannot build walls above that level. So as you can probably imagine, that is pretty difficult to deal with a city as tall as Minas Tirith. I mean, it reaches pretty far up the mountain, and yeah, so I just sort of had to dig into the basement and use that as well. So there's going to be like a valley of mountainy area around it, which is obviously not how Minas Tirith looks, I know that, but that's just how I'm going to have to do it in order to even be able to make something that looks even remotely like Minas Tirith. So the other thing that was also a little bit of a problem for the basement here is also that the coloring is a little bit different, or maybe not the coloring, perhaps it's more like the lighting is different. So the wallpaper that I've used here, you know, the sort of brick or stone wallpaper that I've used, that is actually white. It's actually white, and you'll see it by the time I start building above ground and I use it above ground. It is white, and it looks very Minas Tirith-y when you place it above ground, but when you place it in the basement, it just looks grey and dull, and there's just nothing I can do about it. I tried doing making or putting different wallpapers on it on this lower level, but that also did not really work because there wasn't one that would look white below ground, except for one that looked like some sort of strange material that would just look completely ridiculous. So I did not do that. Then I would rather have this greyish tone. So I just... yeah, I'm sorry about that. I mean, so the two lower levels of the city are actually going to be a little bit grey in colour, and then the rest of the city is going to be white like it actually is. So that's all good. And of course, because we only had 6 levels to work with in total, the city is still not as tall as the actual Minas Tirith, but I made it as tall and as sort of close to what it looks like as I could. So I think it turned out pretty nice. I really like the palace area, the King's Hall area and all of that. That turned out really nice, I think. So yeah, I'm very excited for it. I'm really, I've never actually done replicas before in The Sims 4. That's not something that I've actually done. I mean, I've done a lot of very big builds in my time as a Sims player, and that is both in, you know, Sims 3 and Sims 4. I didn't actually build that much in The Sims 2 and 1, so, but in The Sims 3 and 4 I have done a lot of very big builds as well, and I just never did a replica. I don't know, it just never really appealed to me all that much, but then again, I thought it would be fun to try and see what I can actually do with it. I have been watching Hatsy's channel, if you know Hatsy. If you don't know Hatsy, actually you should totally check her out, because she does a lot of very nice replica builds and a lot of very nice big builds as well. So you should definitely check that out. But she does a lot of replicas, and I don't know, it just looked fun to try. She's very creative. She's very good at finding ways to sort of use alternative things to try and make her builds look like what she wants it to look like what the actual building looks like, using some alternative objects and all of that, and she's really creative like that, and I thought, well, maybe I should just try it out and see how I would do if I was to try and make a replica build. And I had to go and choose a very difficult one, of course, because that's just me. And I love Lord of the Rings. So I really wanted to do something from Lord of the Rings, and then I also thought of Harry Potter, but then Hatsy has already done a Hogwarts build, and she's done a great job, so I didn't feel like doing that as well. I felt like doing something that I hadn't actually seen before on YouTube, and I haven't actually seen anyone building Minas Tirith in The Sims 4 at least, or in The Sims. I think there was actually one who built it in The Sims 3, but I don't know. Anyways, I think I am actually the first one to do it, at least on YouTube, or maybe I'm just not finding it, but either way, yeah, so that's pretty nice. So it was a fun challenge to just try and do this. So I'm trying to make it as close to Minas Tirith as I can. Also, like the buildings that I place within the city. As you can also see, by the way, another restriction that I have is that this lot is 64 by 64 squares. And you cannot get a lot that is larger than that, which means the city is not very big. I mean, you can't really place actual houses in there. You can place some kinds of houses, like small ones, but you know, you wouldn't be able to live in them because they're so tiny that there is no room in there to live in it. So that was a little bit of a problem. And another problem I had with the basement was also that there was supposed to be houses down there at the very bottom level of Minas Tirith, but you can't actually make roofs underground, which I suppose makes sense, but in this particular case, it's just really frustrating because I couldn't actually make roofs on the houses below ground, so I had to use a lot of alternative ways of trying to roof the houses there using other objects than actual roofs. So I've really done my best. I did think that I managed to make it work. It was just very difficult. So now I'm just trying to make the mountain, which Minas Tirith is built up against. And I think I started out with the white rocks, and then I looked at a picture and I was like, but the rocks are not really white, they're kind of grey, or the mountain is kind of grey. But then again, I don't know, for the purpose of the game, actually, I felt like it looked nicer when you made them white, so I'm going to go back and change all of the rocks to white again. Yay! So I'm going to go back and do all of that. That's great. So that was also a bit of a challenge to try and make this mountain, also to have room for the mountain even. Like, there's supposed to be, I am going to build the palace on the top level here, but actually there is like some building behind the top level, no, not behind the top level, behind the palace, but I do not have room to build that, so I'm just going to have to pretend like it's just the end of it and there's just mountain right behind the palace, so that's it. That's all I can do. So yeah, it's okay, and I think actually the top level of this city is what turned out the most gorgeous. It just looks really, really pretty, I think. And by the way, as I was also saying before, I did make all the houses are really, really tiny, so you can't really live in them. But what I've also done is I have made sure that if you really wanted to play on this lot, if you wanted someone to live on this lot, you absolutely can. And there is a fully functioning house, or like a flat, or whatever you want to call it, in this place that you can actually play in. There are actually 2 of them. One of them is connected to the palace, so if you want to be royalty, you can. The other one is one of the houses that is sort of built into the wall. If you look at pictures of Minas Tirith, Minas Tirith, you can see that some of the houses are sort of built into the walls that are climbing up the mountain. So one of those houses I am going to decorate, and then I'm just going to sort of expand it into how can I explain that? You know, those round shapes, like the walls that I've built, the round shaped walls that I've built, inside there is basically nothing. So what I just did was one of the houses that was expanding out from the walls, I let it expand inside those circular rooms, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But anyways, there's going to be a livable area there, so if you want to play on this lot, you can. That was my point. And actually, you guys really like it when I tell stories about the people that I imagine living in my houses, and you also really liked story time in my Vampire Mega Mansion. I got a lot of positive feedback on that. That was really nice of you guys. It was so nice to know that you guys actually enjoyed that. But I really wanted to do that for you again. But then I thought, how do I do that? Because this is a replica, so there's already like a story built up around this place in Lord of the Rings. So how do I make a story? But then I thought, well, of course I can just make my own story about a person who lives in Minas Tirith, who is not actually a part of the Lord of the Rings story, but that doesn't mean that person cannot exist, right? So I actually did make up a little story about a person who lives in Minas Tirith, and that person is the one who has a flat or a house built into the round circular rooms below. So yeah, but I'm not going to tell that story this episode, because this episode is going to be mainly building up the entire lot to sort of get the shape going on, and then after that we are going to move on to making all the houses and all of that. At some point we'll get to his flat or his home, and we will start, or I will tell you a little bit about who he is and what he's all about. So that's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to that. So as you can see, I've placed a bunch of rocks now, a bunch of them. And that was really annoying to make, just saying. Really annoying to make. And now I'm going to change them all to white because I just thought it looked better. Oh, it was horrible, but nonetheless I liked it. So I had to change it to white. I just had to, even though it was horrible to have to go through all of them and change them up. So yeah. So yeah. Anyways, so I hope you guys will enjoy this build. I hope you guys actually like replicas. Let me know what you actually think of it so far by the time we're done with the video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like to see replicas? Do you want me to do more of them? I definitely can, but I also have to say, actually, after having done one, my first one, I must say that I think I enjoy doing my own thing more than replicas, just because I feel like I have more freedom to sort of imagine whatever I want with the build and to sort of be creative in my own way. And I think I like to build that in that way. And I understand that people like to do replicas as well. That's also awesome. So that's just a matter of taste, I think. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you like the replicas, if you would like to see more of them, because obviously I'm going to be listening to you guys. That's very important to me, what you guys think about what I should do. But either way, I think I'm going to do both. No matter what, I'm going to be doing both some replicas once in a while, but I'm definitely also going to be doing my own thing because that is what I like doing the most. So I might also do that more. I don't know, unless, people are overwhelmingly loving replicas and they really, really want it, I might consider doing a lot of those. But let's see what happens. For now, I think I'm done with replicas for just a little while, or maybe not. I don't know. I don't want to actually say that because I don't know if I am. Maybe I feel like building something else. I actually got an idea the other day for another replica. So maybe I will be doing that one. Who knows? I'm not going to tell you what it is, but until then, you won't know. But I'm going to make that at some point. But either way, until then, I'm going to be building probably something that I feel like just some kind of house that I like to build that I think looks nice. I would actually really like to know if you guys would like me to do like a lot of community lots, or if you would like more homes. Do you want like a lot of big homes? Mansions and all of that sort of thing, or would you like some nicer community lots like arts museums and cafes and restaurants and what else is there, nightclubs and what else, pools, gyms, all of these different things? Is there any of these things or are there any of these things that you would really like to see me doing? Because then I would definitely think about it. I've actually been requested to make a toddler daycare center, so I might actually go ahead and do that sometime soon when I get a little bit of time. Right now I actually have some stuff planned. I hope you guys will be excited to see that I have a couple of collabs coming, which is really cool. It's so nice. A couple of people just got in touch with me and asked if I wanted to do some collabs, and it was just so nice because I had actually gone around thinking about that I would like to do some collabs with some people and try and work together with some other YouTubers. It would be fun. And so that was perfect timing for a few people to contact me. Actually, I got quite a few offers, so I can't even do all of them at once, so I have to wait a little bit with some of it for now. But there are a couple of them coming up on the channel, so I hope you guys are excited for that, because I am. It'll be a lot of fun. They're both very nice channels, so you will probably also enjoy their work, I think, if you don't know of them already. But you'll see who they are when we get to the collabs. And sorry for my voice breaking. But anyways, so as you can see here, I'm just doing this like or what do you want to call this, like this sharp mountainy cliff thing that sort of stretches all the way from the palace level all the way to the ground of Minas Tirith. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here, and I'm just coating it entirely in rocks, which is a pain in the butt, just saying. It is a pain in the butt. It's taking forever. It's horrible. It was really the most horrible work I've ever done. I mean, I loved actually making this build, so don't get me wrong. It's not like I didn't like making this build, but this part was really frustrating because I just needed to place so many rocks on top of each other, and it really took forever. I could size them up, I know, and then they would cover more area, but the thing is, then they wouldn't sort of then they would stick out more from the cliff, and I didn't want the cliff to look too thick, if you understand what I'm saying, because it is not thick, it is quite slim. If you look at pictures from the Minas Tirith, it is quite slim. So, but one thing I did discover a little later on while I was doing this was if I actually removed a wall somewhere in this little room that I'm putting rocks on, so that it would that the game would register it as being outside, I could actually place rocks inside the walls and then size them up, and it would work that way. You'll see it in a little bit when I get a little higher up. I will start doing that a little bit more, but that helped a lot because otherwise it would just have taken forever just placing all these tiny rocks everywhere. Oh god, it was really it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, but oh well. So sorry, I just need to scratch my ear real quick here. It was really itchy ear in the middle of my video. It's not okay. Stop it. So yes, are you guys enjoying the LP that I'm doing? I want to release some new episodes soon because I'm really itching to record some more of them. I'm really loving it, actually. I really like the LP. I really like the story that I have prepared for the LP. So I hope you guys will actually enjoy it too, because I would really like to continue with it. I think the story is just about to get really interesting at the point where we're at right now, and it'll only get better from here on out. So I hope you guys are enjoying so I can continue doing it. I would really like that. It's a very nice series, I think. I'm enjoying it. So this part here, I really like it, like this this top cliff here, that where I placed the rock and all that, and then there's a little path going out, because I don't know, it just looks so much like Minas Tirith. I mean, of course, right now you can't probably not see it very well, because I haven't actually built anything on top of that place. Except for box, but that is it. But either way, I mean, I think if you know how Minas Tirith looks, which you probably do, I think if you watch this video, or maybe you don't, I don't know, but if you don't know how it looks, there is this like thin cliff coming out like that from the very top level, so that is very pretty. I'm also going to be placing the tree up there at the top level, just like what is there in Minas Tirith. I tried to find an appropriate tree. There wasn't really one that fit very well. Like, there was one that if it was smaller and if it was white, it would look perfect, but it was big and it was black. So that was really not, that was really not what I needed for up here. So I ended up making it a sort of a white tree that isn't as gnarly as the one that is in Minas Tirith, but you have to make do. You have to make do with what you have in a game like this. So I did. So this is also, everything of course in this city is supposed to be circular. Obviously we can't build circular things in this game. So I just had to go and sort of build all these funny shapes to make it appear circular to the eye, as circular as possible at least. Of course it doesn't look entirely circular, but I think the city itself managed to look pretty circular, which is nice. So I ended up using this tree right here. So I just took out that very large black tree there, which was just not working out, unfortunately. So, okay, here I ran into trouble. Because there is this huge tower, which I've forgotten the name of, that is standing here on top, on the top layer or the top level, and I cannot build above this level. You see, I just made this octagonal room right here, but that is the last level I have available to build on in The Sims 4, so I had to do a lot of alternative things. Right now, I'm just layering chimneys on top of there to make it appear as if it is a tower, and I'm trying out a bunch of different things, and I am deleting a lot of the things that I also do, so if you see something and you're like, ew, that's disgusting and it looks awful, that's okay, I'm probably going to remove it again, most likely. But I am layering a bunch of different things on top of each other to create a really tall tower to have here on this top level. So it was really frustrating that I couldn't build higher, but you know, I don't know, I just had to use a bunch of items. Chimneys really came in handy, yeah. And all the spires and all of that came in handy. I guess I just had to deal with that. That's another chimney I'm putting there. So yeah. If it doesn't look perfect, that's just, you'll just have to deal with it. But I actually think this tower ended up looking pretty good. I actually think it looks pretty good. Honestly, the finished result looks pretty good. And I'm very proud of that because it was impossible to build properly above this level, so it was so much improvisation, so I'm really happy with the kind of result that I managed to get from it. So I hope you guys also think it's good, and it's not just me who is like, yay, I did a great job. I hope you guys also think it's good, and I know that thing is off center right now, it's annoying me. Okay, it's fine, I'm correcting it right now. So yes. So how many of you guys watching this video are actually hardcore Lord of the Rings fans? Are you just like, do you know the films, or do you not even know the films, or are you just like mega huge fan of Lord of the Rings and you know everything about it? Tell me all about it in the comments. I would like to know what kind of people come here and watch this video, so it's cool to know if you sort of, how you feel about Lord of the Rings actually now that you're watching this video. I love it. I love it so much. I love the books and I love the films and I love everything. But one thing that I should probably just tell you guys is that, you know, even though I love it so much and I have watched the films many times, I've read the books and blah blah blah, all of that, I might not like, I'm not one of these like super fans who know every single thing about Lord of the Rings. You know, I never really found the time for it. It's not that I actually didn't want to know all these awesome things about Lord of the Rings. I just never really found the time for digging into the universe that thoroughly. So yes. So the reason I wanted to tell you that was actually because when I'm going to be telling you the story in one of the other episodes, I don't know yet which one, when I'm going to be telling you the story of the person living here in Minas Tirith, if I give the person a name that does not really fit, or something else, I do something else that doesn't really fit, let me know about it. But I'm sorry if that's the case, because I don't really actually know completely everything about Lord of the Rings. So that's all. I just wanted to say that in case there was some super fans yelling at me out there. But anyways, guys, before I end this video entirely, I just wanted to take a moment to say that if you liked my content and would be interested in seeing more of it, please remember to subscribe and also leave a comment and like and all of these things. I'm actually a really small channel, and I really want to grow. I love doing YouTube, and I've become so passionate about it. And if you enjoy what I do, I really hope that you'll consider supporting me by subscribing to my channel. And also, I love hearing from you guys so much. There are so many people who are actually commenting on my videos despite my size. So I'm actually really happy with that, and I love it so much. So keep that up, guys. You're awesome. Thank you. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you are looking forward to the next part. Until then, have a great day and see you soon.